Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, good evening. I'm Majnu Bien. Welcome to another edition of Higher Occult Perspective. Tonight we're going to talk about mystical prostitution. Before we start, I would like to give thanks and praise to the Creator of all. Thanks and praise to all the gods and goddesses of light. Thanks and praise to all our divine parents. Thanks and praise to all our ancestors, known and unknown. Thanks and praise to all the sentient beings of light. Thanks and praise to all the light workers, whether you're a tarot reader, an oracle, a master herbalist, a medium. No matter what you do, we see you, we honor you, we thank you. Keep doing what you do. Alright, mystical prostitution. Prostitution in general is understood as the exchange of sexual intercourse or sexual favors in return of financial, material gain. There are different types of prostitutes, levels, and hierarchies. From the girl on the corner, on the tracks, as they will say, to the escorts, strippers, and so forth. We're not going to cover that part of prostitution. We're going to talk about people who use prostitution for magical, mystical reasons. So, before we even get into that, please do not confuse mystical prostitutes with sacred prostitutes. Those are two different levels, or if you will like, echelons of the prostitution world. Sacred prostitutes deal with very, how can I put this? They deal with very high, elevated human beings. Yes, there are some sacred prostitutes. Their job is they offer sexual, I wouldn't call that favors, for the advancement of a specific human being, whether it's a male or a female. There are schools, whole schools for that. In some places they call them vestals. Vestal is V-S-T as in Thomas, A as in Apple, L as in Laurie. Vestals. So, yeah, they say, they used to worship the god Vesta, but it goes a little deeper than that. We're not going to touch on that, at least not in this video. In another time, we'll cover it. So back to mystical prostitutes. So, as you know, well, for some of you, sexual energy is it's the most powerful energy in the human body. Some would say in the universe. All right. So when the gods created human beings and they bestowed upon us, they give us sexual energy and sexual organs. Sexual organs are merely the dense aspect of the sexual energy. Sexual energy is a very, very powerful force. It can be used for many things, not just for pleasure and procreation, reproduction, as most human beings will use it, but in the occult, sexual energy is used for very, very other powerful things, such as manifestation. Because when two human beings are in sexual union, they have the powers of trillions of gods at their disposal. They can create amazing things or very destructive things. Sexual energy is also used for healing. And there are practices for sexual transmutation, such as the pranayama. I'm just saying that in passing. Someday we'll cover it. When we say healing, sexual energy is also used for regeneration of the whole mind, body, and soul. Yes, sexual energy is a very powerful force when you know how to use it. There are practices for this. Reproduction and pleasure really come at the bottom of the reasons why the God gave us sexual energy. There's nothing wrong with sexual pleasure, by the way, as long as you respect and you don't violate universal laws. So, there are a group of people, males and females, who are used for the sole purposes of harvesting that energy or using it for certain practices. Some of those practices are a little bit like this. In a country, I'll mention the country where I'm from. It's not the only country, there are many countries. It's done all over the world. Usually sexual prostitutes come from lodges or orders, mystical orders. So they are usually trained and designated on how to get into sexual union with some men or women with the sole purposes of extracting that sexual energy, usually through the body fluid, such as, I don't know if I can say sperm on YouTube. Sperm and vaginal fluids. Yeah, those fluids are very, very, very powerful. How do they go about it? For example, let's pick on the case of a female. A female will have sex with a man, and when he ejaculates in the condom, she will extract it and wash the outside of the condom to eliminate, her own essence. And she can resell. Yes, she can resell that condom full of the seminal fluid. There are some mystical markets where they buy such things. Yeah, in case you didn't know. Also, in case of a male prostitute, that's it with a female, what he will do is, if he didn't use protection and he will ejaculate inside of her, there are techniques where, well, let's go with the basics. He will wipe it, but now his essence and the essence of the girl, the female, are mixed. There are ways, there's a process of separation where he will only extract hers. Or there are also certain practices where a male or female will wipe the private parts of another female. That, when a girl is moist and wet, that liquid, those napkins that we throw away, that females throw away sometimes in motels, public bathrooms, there are a group of people who are trained to go out there and get them. They're very expensive in the mystical market. The mystical market, just a side note, a lot of things are sold there. People good luck, people good graces, people abundance are sold there. Now, here's another example of those practices. In some countries, some girls are trained. What they will do is, a girl will go out at night in a nightclub most of the time, or any social gathering event. Usually it takes place at night. There's a reason why. Because the gods of darkness usually, that's when they rule at night. The girl will make sure she hooks up with also some casual encounters websites. Some girls will hook up with a male, and she will use a certain powder or liquid. She'll put on her neck, sometimes on her lips, the mouth, on upstairs, or even downstairs. So if as a male you kiss or you lick her breast, you kiss her neck, it will make you you have the most intense orgasm you ever had, and it will make you ejaculate more than you ever did in your whole life. Most of the time, when the male ejaculates, they pass out or they become unconscious. So what the girls will do, they will take that body, those fluids, and they will keep them in bottles most of the time, or little containers. And trust me, those containers are worth a lot of money, but that's just the first step. People, they sell those that sperm tube will in turn do practices with the sole purpose of extracting, like I said, the person's good luck, good grace. Whatever you are meant to be or become in life is encoded in your DNA. The best receptacle of your DNA is your your sexual fluid. Also, it doesn't matter what is your sexual orientation, because as long as it involves sexual organs, yeah. Even if it's anal, yes, even if it's anal. Even if a girl does that to another girl, even if she uses like toys or anything, as long as she can have access to the fluid of your sexual organ, it can be used. So what do those girls or men who do such things, what do they get in return? They get a lot of money, a lot. The type of money they get is not the type of money your average prostitute on the street corner or your escort would get. No, those girls deal in hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. To become one, like I said, they usually come from the ranks of lodges and orders, mystical orders. Yeah. They just don't pick up anybody in the street to do that. Also, people who are used for that are bound to secrecy. Yeah, most of them will die without ever revealing what they were doing. Once in a while, some of them will have regrets and they will confess, but they don't live long enough after that. Because they're part of a world where they sleep with very, very, very influential people, wealthy people, powerful people. So also some of those girls are used for blackmail and manipulation, but that's a whole kind of an aspect of this. But girls who only do this for, like I said, for mystical, spiritual reasons, yeah, they are trained to do that. Including the males, because there are male prostitutes. Yeah, there are a lot of them nowadays. But mystical prostitution is a very interesting word. It takes place under our nose, but we don't know. Usually, the average human being, please forgive me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. The average human being will probably never have to deal with one of them. Because you have to be very influential, powerful, wealthy. They don't use those type of people for the average human being, unless if they send a mystical prostitute after a human being, it means there's something in you that is very highly divine. You have a high purpose, or their job is to make sure you don't reach a certain destination. Yeah, they will send them after you. And trust me, those girls and men are very charming, handsome, attractive. They know how to talk, they know how to charm. They're amazing in bed. It's for a reason. It's for a reason. They're good at what they do. They have been trained. A lot of them have been trained since they were kids. They also know certain sexual rituals. For example, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but here we go. A male prostitute, mystical male prostitute, has the ability to ejaculate inside of a girl and suck it back in with his sexual organs. Yeah. And then when he gets home, he can push it back. But this time he will only push the aspect that he wants from the female, the essence. Remember, your sexual organs, your sexual fluids are the most important part of you. It contains your whole DNA. And in your DNA is encoded who you were, who you are meant to be. There are techniques on how to find out how to do those things. And those people are very advanced at doing that. So, what is the takeaway from this? As a precaution, people are free to do whatever they want, partake in all kind of, nothing wrong with having fun sexually. From a light workup perspective, this is what I would advise. we don't know who we sleep with sometimes. You don't know. You need to have some spiritual powers to be able to say certain things. So listen to your intent. How can I say, to your intuition? Above all, protect yourself spiritually. How? There are certain prayers you can say before you partake in any sexual activity. Call on higher beings. You can never go wrong with Archangel Michael. You can never go wrong. Call on him before any sexual act. I know certain sexual acts are a quickie, a spur of the moment. Still, a spiritual person, you know your spirituality is like your first nature. Not your second nature, it's your first nature. So everything you do is spiritual. You can never go wrong with Archangel Michael. Always call on the creator of all. In the community tab, we're going to post some protection prayers. You can use them. It comes in handy. Also, when you get into sexual union with a person, always ask yourself, does this person fit into who I'm doing my best to become? Does this person fit into the highest aspect of myself? Whomever you get into union with sexually, there's always an exchange. Always. You take also a part of the best of them and the worst of them, including their karma, bad karma, including their curses, their demons, anything that's negative with them. None of us is perfect, but some people have more light than darkness. I will advise to go with people who have more light than darkness. But if you find yourself having, being out there doing your thing, nothing wrong with that, I'm not judging, I will advise you to look for cord cutting, and cleansings as well. Yeah, Palo Santo, white sage, they're good for certain things, but not for that type of cleansing. You need something really powerful. If you can get into it, there are people out there, they offer that service, cord cutting, because every time you have sex with a person, there are cords that are created, whether it's emotional, sexual, and other things. So I will advise and always use protection prayers and cleansings. So we have a service. Yeah, let's call this commercial break. We have a service for spiritual protection that involves cleansing and cord cutting. It's a little pricey, but it's worth it. But if not, you can always use the protection prayers. Some of the free stuff we give here, you can use them. So in the community, at the description of the video, I'm going to put a link to our WhatsApp, so you can contact us if you're interested. All right. Hopefully this was helpful, and may the Creator help you in everything you do. May the Creator help you, guide you, protect you, bring you health, wealth, success, spiritually, financially, and materially. Thank you, and namaste.